Hello viewers, and welcome to another episode of Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV. I am Adam Mani Angora as usual. As you all know, in this program, we try to introduce some dishes that are probably new, maybe some that are known to you. But the main objective is to teach and all learn together. So today, I am making something which is absolutely unique. Something that is popularly known as GAUDA. GAUDA is a food indigenous to Hausa and Fulani communities of northern Nigeria. Some call it tubani, but in English you can call it dumpling. I guess the people of Asia, especially Chinese or around Korea, they call it dumplings. So I hope you will follow us and learn through the process. Now, GAUDA is being prepared with some unique items. But before then, let us go for a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV. To begin the preparation of GAUDA, we are going to need all-purpose flour, a whole wheat flour, cassava flour, beans flour. These are 4 essential ingredients that we need. However, some people would like to add guinea corn flour or what have you. For the purpose of this episode, after mixing these things, we are also going to need baobab leaf, which is in form of powder. We also need a potassium, we need some water, and also we need other ingredients that we use to make what is called yaji, right? It's pepper. What are those ingredients? Here we have them. The first is pepper, we have some kuli, and also some salt, some ginger, some seasoning, which we have white and red seasoning for the purpose of this program, and also the salt that we are going to use is going to be a black salt. Now we also have some cloves, and also we are going to use some vegetables, that is when it comes to serving, which is the reason why I said we are going to wrap it around the concept of innovation and change. Even though it's something traditional, but we innovate it. You know, in this program we try to see how we create some unique things that are really important. Now, to begin the preparation, first of all, I will bring my water here and drop it by my side. I will add now the whole wheat flour to the all-purpose flour. I will also add my cassava flour. The cassava flour, you see, is looking really white, and also the beans flour. Now it is the time in which I add my baobab leaf powder. So with this, I'll now go ahead and mix it well before I begin to add water to it. So you see, one of the most important thing about making this dish is that while we do teach the concept, at the same time, because it is something traditional, something local, we also help in preserving the culture of the people. Why did I say this? Because this particular food is now very, very scarce. It's rarely found anywhere. You hardly seen it prepared in a restaurant or any local food production places. So with this, let me put my hand glove so that I can mix the dough very well. Let me add some of this baobab leaf. Okay. So you can mix it gently to avoid spillage, so that we don't mess up with the kitchen. What I have not added yet is the potassium mixed with water. This is really important. However, it is not mandatory. Some people prefer to mix the water with potassium before even beginning to mix the dough. But in this, our style, I did something slightly different. I started mixing with the water, and then now I'm waiting for the potassium to dissolve a bit and then add it. This is my steamer. If you like, you can use the traditional clay-based steamer. So I am now adding some water inside of the pot. This is our first layer of the steamer, and this is the second layer, and this is the cover. So before I begin to give it heat, let me proceed with the completing of this mixture. Now, something really important to take note of here is that when I was mixing the dough with water only, the color did not change, even though you can see some we can see it turning into green because of the baobab leaf that is being added. But now that I have added the potassium, you can see the color has turned much more green as compared to the one that I mixed without adding the potassium. So let me add it to the first and then mix them all together. GAUDA is something that is supposed to be really smooth, absolutely smooth. So to get that, you definitely need potassium. Makes it really smooth. Even while you are mixing it, you can feel it with your hand. It feels much more better and really, really interesting. Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, you are watching Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV, and we are making GAUDA, what they call dumplings, tabani, or what have you. So the dough is now well mixed. The next thing that I will do is to begin to make it ready for boiling, or I should say steaming. To achieve this objective, we are going to need what they popularly call moi moi leaf in our local markets, right? So something really important to note is that you can actually use the cover of corn to wrap the mixture. You could use this leaf to wrap it. So for those that use the cover of corn to wrap it. They refer to it as tubani, and then using that makes it a bit long. And then the flat one, they usually call it GAUDA, which is used to be wrapped with this kind of leaf. As we always say in our kitchen, we prioritize health. You know, health is so important. So being this brought from local market, let us rinse it first before we begin to wrap the dough. So now that our dough is ready, our leaves well rinsed, so it's time to begin to wrap. But before I do that, let me open the steamer so that I can just be dropping the wrapped dough. I also brought some quantity of water so that the dough doesn't get much stuck into my hand while I wrap it. Also, I did not mention the quantity of water needed during the mixing. That is dependent upon your desire, you know, your desired quantity you can put. So let's do this. Maybe we can increase the size a bit. And then begin to wrap it. See, I roll it and then I fold the bottom part of it, and also I would go ahead and fold the upper part of it and then put it in my steamer with the folding part facing down so that it does not open. Welcome back. In case you are just joining us, you must have really missed a lot, but I'm sure you'll be able to catch up. Okay, so the next thing we'll do now, after putting the fire on to steam our GAUDA, let me be preparing our yaj, and of course I need a mortar, and then essentially the dried pepper. I would also like to add some kuli kuli. This is to reduce the heat of the pepper a bit, you know, to bring the heat a bit down and probably enhance the taste. And also I am adding a bit of cloves in it, not so much. Then I am adding dried ginger, the ginger powder. My seasoning. The black salt. And then the red seasoning. So while adding this, as you pound it Of course, before you finish, you can get to test to determine whether the quantity of these items that I've just added is okay, or you need to supplement. Therefore, all I need to do now is to begin to pound my yaji. You know, in Hausa terminology, this yaji is what they call yaji garangaudi. Perhaps because it does not have some special things added like garlic and so on. You know, there's garlic based yaji which is called yajin tafarnua. So I think any yaji that is different from that, they call it garangaudi, just normal yaji. So our yaji is now ready and well done. Let me put it aside. And then it is now time to prepare the items of making for making our vegetable sauce, which will be used at the very end to serve our dumpling. So our dumplings are still here on fire, doing really well. So at first, let me slice the onions. For this, I would prefer the onions to be somehow big in size. So this one is something I add much later at the end while the veggies are getting stir fried, and then I'll add it as a last thing. Okay, so everything is now ready for the sauce preparation. Of course, the garlic, which I haven't cut into smaller pieces, is now been cut. So now everything is on set. We are just waiting for a few minutes for our gauda to be actually ready. So while we give it a few more minutes to finish, let's go for a short break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. It is now time for us to check if the dumplings are ready, the gauda. Let's verify. Yes, this is perfectly ready. We can now go ahead and serve. But before we do the serving, let me get rid of the steamer and put it aside. So I put it now aside, and let me transfer the pan here, and also let me put this here. Okay, for this I'm going to fry some amount of oil. And keep some for our sauce. You know, normally you could just serve it with oil and yaji. That's the pepper that I pounded earlier on, and then you can eat it that way. But because we want to innovate it, we prepare a form of vegetable sauce, which you could either call Adam's salsa. Yeah, so with this, as my oil is getting hot, I will go ahead and add some onions in it to enhance the smell of the oil, and then also to make it look really awesome. And it also gives a nice fragrance, you know, the taste becomes really, really nice when you add some onions inside of the oil. So as this one is getting hot, I'll go ahead and add some oil in it. But while I'm doing all this, there is some water that I reserved here, which I'm also going to give it a heat. You know, when you eat something that has much oil, you drink hot water. So you see my water, you know, my oil and my sauce are getting heated simultaneously. So with this, I'll start by adding some onions and also the garlic. And then I can now add some seasoning and some salt. Can also add the pepper now. Something I would like to do now is to cut my lime and then use my lime squeezer to squeeze the lime juice. I don't need that much lime. For this, I guess let me add the second half of the lime. Okay. And then I can go ahead and add my cabbage. Also doesn't need much heat. And then my carrots can also be added. Depend on how you like to make the stuff. You can actually add the carrots first before adding the cabbage, because cabbage cooks faster than the carrot. But because of the way I shredded the carrots, I think this one they are going to cook together at the same time. And don't forget, we actually don't want to cook it that much. We just want to give it a small amount of heat, and that's all we need. Now I can put off my hot water and also the oil that I have just added the onions. Well, I can give it maybe 1 more minute or less than that. Even though it looks fine, it looks okay. Yeah, I think I can go ahead and now put it off. So the last thing And final thing I want to do here is to actually shred the cucumbers. Okay, that's all I need. With this I can now put it off, and my sauce is ready. Everything is now okay, everything is ready. All we need is to begin serving. This is the moment of truth. So what else could I do if not to go ahead and just give it a test, right? So with this, I will go ahead and bring this here and then grab one piece of my dumpling. Grab one piece of my dumpling like this. Let me wrap this vegetable so that it doesn't fall down while I'm testing it. You know, this is something that I could serve at my wedding day. It tastes absolutely delicious, really, really awesome. Oh my God, this is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I could not really stop eating this. I can eat it all day. So, our dumpling is perfectly ready. Thank you so much for watching Adam's Kitchen on Trust TV. And this has brought to an end our today's episode, and we hope to see you in our next episode. And it is our hope that you are still learning and will continue to learn. Thank you so very much. Till we meet in our next episode. Bye bye.